All right, Shabbat Shalom. Kol Halal Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai B'Shem HaKakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders who came before them that taught us this truth. Shabbat Shalom. Salutations to all the brothers that push the word in truth and in sincerity. The hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the brother Yahshua back with the WW3 Daily update. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all of you that made it here, especially the ones that are going to get butt hurt by what is being said and put your thumbs down. Good day. All right, so we'll start right here in Ezekiel 38. And we're going into prophecy, right? What does this say? Prophecy. Our job is to watch, right? And when you see these prophecies come into pass, then you know what time we're in, all right? This is how you tell time according to the Bible. What day we're in. We're looking forward and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Lord. What is the day of the Lord? It deals with nuclear bombs, okay, and UFOs, all right? That's what this book is about. All right, so let's start right here, Ezekiel 38:1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog. Now, all of these names that are coming out here have to do with whose land being spoken of originally belonged to. And it's largely the sons of Japheth, all right, Togarmah, Gomer, and all of that. But really, what it is now, because this book is alive, and it's dealing with time, okay? The time that we're in now, who's living in that land? The land of Magog. Who's living over there? Let's get that real quick. They got these maps over here, but let me get a map here. Where? Sit down pics. Let's get a map. Nope. Not that one. Let's see. Sit downs. Okay, here we go. Let's get this one. And that one, okay. Okay, so Magog. Who's living there now? These Edomites. Okay. Meshach and Tubal, Georgia, Russia. Gomer, Syria. Togarmah, Turkey. Okay. Libya, we know where Libya is. Libya is still Libya. All right, what does it say here? Gog and Magog, Gomer, all right, Gomer and Togarmah, I guess Togarmah would be Syria. Persia, Libya and Ethiopia are the same, okay? So this is about end time prophecy. All right, now let's go back here. Now we know who we're talking about, all right? Set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog. Who's that? Russia. The chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. That's talking about this area of Russia. Georgia, where the Caucasus are, right? Now, again, these names go back to Japheth, whose land it originally belonged to, okay? But when you're dealing with North America, right, called the United States, whose land was this before they got decimated and the land was stolen? They got pushed out of their own land, right? Now they call it Texas when it's actually Mexico. You see how that works? Somebody's running around the world stealing and occupying land and calling themselves after those names. Okay, anyway, here's Iran. Iran is Persia. And then changing the name. You steal the land, you put your name on it. Okay, Africa. Right? When was Africa stolen? During the Ptolemies. All right? Well, it's Africa now. Well, that's the land of Ham. Ham. Okay? Anyway, this land used to belong to the Japhethites, and they got pushed up out of there, right? Rome, Romulus, and Remus, all goes back to Japheth. So, who's there today in the land of Mega? These Edomites. Okay? And so on. Okay? The chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog. Right? Most High is against these Edomites, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth. So, Most High is saying, I'm going to use you for my purposes, just like I did with Pharaoh. Okay? When I took Pharaoh and Egypt down. Now, during the time that the Most High went heads up with Pharaoh, which sounds crazy, those were Hamites in Egypt. Okay? Those were Hamites before they were pushed out of there by the Edomites during the time of the Ptolemies. And then those Edomites were pushed out of there, and today you got Ishmael. You got the Arabs over there claiming to be the Egyptians. And they're not the Egyptians. Okay? And that's just the way it goes. So it says, And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth, and all thine army. Horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So God is assembling all of these nations, right, for his purposes. Just like he set Egypt up and made them a great imperial fighting force. Why? So he could take them down and show his strength. Okay, here we go. Persia. Who's that? Who's Persia? Iran. Ethiopia, we know who that is. It's in the land of Ham. Libya, the land of Ham. They still got the same names. With them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer, Gomer, Istanbul, Constantinople. Okay. And Togarmah. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company, right, that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Okay? Now, where do we go from there? We go here to Crazy Nate. All right? I think we did this yesterday too, but this is yesterday, came out right after yesterday's daily update. July 19th, unbelievable, this changes everything. Europe just got canceled, so let's watch this prophecy unfold. Go ahead, Nate, and we'll try to keep this short. All right.
Is going to be left in the dark this winter. We have a situation developing at the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe that nobody is talking about. We also have a very, very terrifying development in the Middle East, well, if you're Israel and the United States and the West, and that is this right here.
Hold on. What did he say? If you're Israel, the United States, and the West, what's going on? All right, that prophecy. troops are being gathered into the valley of Yahushua.
If you're Israel and the United States and the West, and that is this right here. This, look at that handshake. Look.
Who's that? Persia, Magog, Gomer. He's being a guard unto them. Let's look at that again. Okay. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah. Wait, let's start here. Persia, that's a Roman. Gomer, Togarmah. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee. The Most High is assembling them, gathering them together. And be thou, who's that? Be thou a guard unto them. We're watching prophecy jump off of the pages of the Bible and come true. Persia, Gomer, okay, Magog.
That handshake. That's more than a handshake. Okay, that looks like an inseparable strategic partnership. That's a $40 billion handshake right there.
That's the Most High doing what the Most High does. Okay, so who do we have? The president, the president, the president. Okay. The king of the north, the king of Turkey, the king of Persia. The kings, what are they doing? They're doing exactly what the Most High got them doing. Get that. Come on. When you understand what this Bible is saying, his son, who's the word? His son is the word. All right. What is this? What is the spirit of prophecy? The testimony of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. Here's the kings. All right, this word heart is the Hebrew word lab, which means your mind. Okay? The king's mind is in the hand of God, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Let's prove that real quick. Let's go down here to, what is it? Oh, Good News. Good News translation. The Lord controls the mind of a king. So what do we have here? This is called mind control. I didn't say it, the scripture said it. Why are they coming together? Because it was prophesied. Prophecy. This book is more than 2,000 years old. Okay? And it prophesied that this would happen. Now we see it, meaning the prophecies are coming to pass, letting you know how close we are to the end. Okay? Go back to Proverbs. MK Ultra stands for mind control, but since it was in Germany at the time, the K is how you spell control. So this would be MK Supreme. right? Not ultra, supreme. Who's this? The supreme being. What is this? Mind. What is this? Control. And what do you get? You get everything that's said in the Bible happening before your very eyes. All right? Go ahead, Nate.
The first flight out of Russia since the war started, he goes to Iran.
Why? Because he's under mind control.
Okay, that is huge. Why is it so huge? Because they just inked a $40 billion deal to send gas to the east. It's a slap in the face. At the same time, you have this Gazprom stuff going on. They are now going to start shipping all of the gas that the Europeans thought that they needed. See, this is the thing. You know, we have such a ethnocentric view of the world. We forget that 7 billion people and growing. Our populations are in decline, with the exception of the United States. And I say our, I mean the West. The Western populations are in drastic decline.
Why did the Japanese attack Pearl Harbor? Okay? Why? Let's see if we can get some perspective. Why did the Japanese... Look at this. Why did the Japanese attack Pearl Harbor? Let's go here.
Do not buy solar panels if you live in one of these 11 states.
Slocky, bear with me. The answer is oil. Let's see if they say.
On a list of historically bad ideas, Japan's decision to bomb Pearl Harbor always gets an honourable mention. Given that for Japan the outcome was not exactly a positive one, it's natural to ask what its leaders hoped to achieve. So why? Why did Japan bomb Pearl Harbor? So before talking about the attack itself, it's important to look at what the Japanese government's long-term plans were for the country. Japan is not a resource-rich country, and so in order to secure long-term security in terms of things like oil and food...
There you go. World War II. World War II. What is Russia sitting on? Wheat. See that breadstick? Oil or energy, natural gas, oil. Okay. Saudi Arabia just purchased, right, a whole bunch of oil, not natural gas, oil from Russia. There's your wheat that they're sitting on. And Ukraine got a bunch of wheat too. Oil or energy in 2022, energy, okay, food, wheat. Okay, we don't have to go any more into that. We can just go here and say, "4 days ago, Saudi Arabia doubles oil imports from Russia this year." Why? Don't they have all of the oil? This is about war. Okay? This is about toppling the West. And then Biden went over there, 4 hours ago. Saudi Arabia and Russia are taking Biden for a ride. Let's watch this. Crazy.
US President Joe Biden was in Saudi Arabia recently. His prime objective? To get the powerful OPEC cartel to increase its oil output so that global crude prices could be lowered.
Okay, so this was days ago, like 2-3 days ago. This guy shows up over there, right, calling them pariahs, and they kill Khashoggi, and they have to say something. Now, can we get some of that oil? It's just crazy. So, wait a minute. World War II was dealing with what? Energy and food. What's going on right now?
US President Joe Biden was in Saudi Arabia recently. His prime objective: to get the powerful OPEC cartel to increase its oil output so that global crude prices could be lowered. How did Saudi Arabia respond? It told Joe Biden that any decision to raise oil output will be taken by OPEC Plus collectively as an organization. Now, what is OPEC Plus? It's basically OPEC plus Russia. That should tell you how things are going to pan out for the Biden administration in August.
You see where this is going? They told him, nigga, we're doing oil business with Russia. Get your ass up out of here. We'll see how well it goes when we go to war, because you need oil, okay, to put in them jet planes and in them tanks. How's that going to go? All right? That says it all. Saudi Arabia drastically increases Russian oil import. But doesn't Saudi Arabia have all the oil? Have you ever played a game called Monopoly?
Saudi Arabia and Russia are oil-rich partners.
Boom. Why did the Japanese attack Pearl Harbor? Oil in World War II. Okay? The handwriting is on the wall.
Saudi Arabia is the world's second largest oil producer. Russia stands at third position. Interestingly, Saudi Arabia has
Could it be that Iran is standing on the top?
doubled its oil imports from Russia since the war in Ukraine began. According to data reviewed by Reuters, Saudi Arabia imported 647,000 tons of Russian oil in the second quarter, that is, from April to June. During the same period last year, the Gulf Kingdom had imported 320,000 tons of oil from Russia. In fact, Russian oil, which earlier used to go into Europe, is now finding its way into the Middle East. As of June, Russian fuel exports to the Middle East had reached 155,000 barrels per day. In July, the number climbed up to 220,000 barrels per day.
Oil is what started World War II. I mean, it was already jumping off, but it expanded exponentially. Why? Because of oil. All right, what is Nord Stream 1? What is Nord Stream 2? That was the second natural gas pipeline that was supposed to go up, and what did Joe Biden do? He nixed it. So they're at war. This is about war. War over what? Natural resources. Okay? Do you know that opium is a natural resource? Well, why do you think the United States went to Afghanistan? To secure the poppy fields. Ask Pat Tillman, the football player. Why is his ass dead right now? What game are Saudi Arabia and Russia playing? Monopoly.
Many would ask why Saudi Arabia, the biggest name in the crude oil world, is importing Russian oil. If Riyadh is to be believed, the hike in oil imports from Russia has a lot to do with power generation in the Gulf Kingdom. Saudi Arabia remains one of the countries that rely on oil for electricity generation. So, here's what's happening. Saudi Arabia is importing cheap Russian oil for domestic usage while exporting its own oil to the world at higher prices.
The game of Monopoly, the game of life. It's a game, all right, that world wars are fought over. Oil, energy.
That has allowed Saudi Arabia to free up more oil for exports at inflated prices. Europe has been avoiding direct purchases of Russian oil. According to Bloomberg, Europe's Russian oil imports slipped by 30% between February and June this year. During the same period, the Middle East's intake of Russian oil increased dramatically. Saudi Arabia has helped Russian oil find alternative markets in the Gulf. On its part, it is leading the purchase of Russian crude. Here's how it's happening. By purchasing Russian oil, Saudi Arabia is ensuring it frees up its own oil for exports without necessarily increasing output in a dramatic fashion. That means the supply remains the same, and so the prices do not climb down. It's a win win situation for both Russia and Saudi Arabia. While Saudi Arabia earns handsome windfalls due to an apparent global oil supply crunch that has hiked prices, Russia gets to keep its economy running due to its oil finding new markets in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. Now, all eyes are on the OPEC Plus meeting scheduled for early August.
Woo! So when is World War III going to start?
OPEC Plus increase oil output? And will Saudi Arabia and Russia agree upon giving Joe Biden some respite?
That would be a hell's no. I'm a little curious, so let's do a little research real quick. Not that. Let's see. Let's ask this question. It can't be the United States. Not oil producing. Let's see. What country is sitting recoverable? Wow. So it would be Turtle Island, which belongs to the Native Americans. Let's see. U.S. holds most recoverable oil reserve. So let's see. How old is this? Either 2016. Oslo, Norway. The United States now holds the world's largest recoverable oil reserve base, more than Saudi Arabia or Russia, thanks to the development of unconventional resource plays. So this must be it here. Now, what's going on? What's going on here? What's happening is they're teaming up. Okay, what is BRICS? B, R, where's India? Here's C, where's South Africa? Okay. Okay, well, this is OPEC, I guess. 70. I don't know how to read this. Why is this 29 and this is 70? Look at Iran. Estimated global oil reserves. clearly don't know how to read this. Let's see, 1P proved reserves, proved probable, most likely estimate for existing fields discovered. Okay, so let's go by this. Proved reserve, conservative estimate in existing fields. Proved plus probable. Proved plus probable, most likely. This is where you get into semantics and witchcraft and the shell game. So let's go by P. Proved. Well, why is Russia? See, so who wrote this? Okay. You're getting into guessing and the shell game out here. Let's go by this. 29 looks like Russia. Okay. Or Saudi Arabia. Proved. Okay. There's Iran. Iran's got more than the U.S. Russia's got considerably more than the U.S. Iran, more. Okay? Here's what's really going on. See, the devil is about sleight of hand. Okay? So here's the problem. Russia, Saudi Arabia, there's where your oil is. And who's got more than 29? Persia. All right? Don't let all of this other shit fool you. All right? And Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, UAE, Qatar, this is all right there, the Arab states. Okay? So there's that. Going back to, where did we go? This. Let's go back here real quick. History. This.
On a list of historically bad ideas, Japan's decision to bomb Pearl Harbor always gets an honourable mention. Given that for Japan the outcome was not exactly a positive one, it's natural to ask what its leaders hoped to achieve. So why? Why did Japan bomb Pearl Harbor?
Why did Japan bomb Pearl Harbor? World War II.
So before talking about the attack itself, it's important to look at what the Japanese government's long-term plans were for the country. Japan is not a resource-rich country, and so in order to secure long-term security in terms of things like oil and food...
Okay, what happened was the United States put an embargo, sanctions, if you will, on Japan. And Japan was like, oh, hell no, nigga. All right? It was about this. All right? And just like, Japan, right? It says, if you listen to the words right before this, it says they're not what rich? Listen.
In terms of things like oil and...
What rich?
Secure long-term security in terms of things like oil and...
A little more.
So in order to secure long-term security in terms of things like...
A little more.
Japanese government's long-term plans were for the country. Japan is not a resource-rich country.
Resource rich. Who else is not resource rich? Europe. All right, Western Europe. Why do you think that they're shipping Nord Stream natural gas and what? Who is about to freeze their ass off because of Russian natural gas and oil? It would be Europe. Who is forcing NATO to go into, all right, and to align NATO countries right up against Russia and put nukes there? That would be Great Britain, Europe as a whole. All right. All right, so we'll go ahead and close up.
From Russia as well. But it's the East that is growing. That's the future market of the world. And the Russians know it. This is why they're going to lay some pipe through Iran. That didn't sound good. Well, maybe there's a bit of truth to the sexual joke there as well. But Russia's going to be laying pipe through Iran. They're going to be kicking $40 billion into the Iranian gas industry, which has been stunted by sanctions. So this is a massive slap in the face. Now, this is important too, because this means that Russia has a $40 billion investment in Iran, which means that if people start messing with Iran, then Russia's going to have to join in. It would make sense that would be the case, right? So
now, who's messing with Iran right now? Israel is. Let's get that. Eight months, 2 days. Israel prepares to attack Iran's nuclear facility after Tehran claims it could build a nuclear bomb. Read this again slow. Israel prepares to attack. Prepares to attack. Where's Steckleneck at? Let's see. Let's get Steckleneck here. Where is he? Pass it. I haven't been there in so long. I'm sorry I'm running long, but it's the Spirit of the Lord. Off grid. What is it called? Watchman. What is his latest video say? Putin meets with Iran leaders and Turkey. That's that same thing. What does this say? Israel says Iran attack at center of preparations. Okay. Now, what did this guy just say? Nate. He said, if anybody messes with Iran, you're looking at World War III. Let's watch this real quick.
How does this...
No, I'm running long. I'm just putting the pieces of the puzzle together. This is all...
Today on the newscast, Israel downs a Hezbollah drone and says that an attack against Iran's nuclear facilities is at the center of its military preparations. Get all the breaking details next.
We don't need to go any further. Okay, let's go back to Nate real quick. Where was he? And then I'll close. Where did Nate go? Israel. Damn it. Don't speak. Let's see earlier. Where is it? I'll just go back here. Let me see. Slovakia for being an old man. Okay, here we go.
that would be the case, right?
Let's see. Go back just to here. So he can say that about whoever runs up on Iran.
Slap in the face. Now, this is important too, because this means that Russia has a $40 billion investment in Iran, which means that if people start messing with Iran, then Russia's going to have to join in.
World War III. We'll end on that right there. We'll get the least of the flock. Where's that in the prophecy? It's a Jeremiah 49 and 20. Oh. All right. This is a prophecy of the so-called Israelis, okay, who are Edomites, by the way, starting World War III. Because it's already popping, but this is gonna be the tipping point, if you will. Jeremiah 49 and 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom. The Russians are Edomites. The Israelis are Edomites. And his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Teman was one of the main cities in Edom, in ancient Edom. Surely the least of the flock, the Amalekites, who are today over in the land of Israel, claiming to be God's chosen, and they're not. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out into World War III proper, right? Much like what happened when Japan, all right, was over there. And when you do your research, you find out that the Israelis are over there in lock goose step with the Azov battalion that surrendered, who are Nazis. Figure that one out. All right. The Ukrainians. This goes back to the Khazarian Empire. What's going on over there in the USSR? What is about to shortly become, once again, the USSR. Surely the least of the flock, the Amalekites, so-called Jews, shall draw them out. Shall draw who out? Vlad. Right? That fight is really going on. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. So this is what we're watching right now. We're staying abreast of the prophecy. Let's get this. Is Revelation 19 and 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushai. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. Okay? It's all about these prophecies, none of these. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. Where is it? Isaiah 34 and 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. What is the book of the Lord? The Bible. And read. None of these, what? None of these shall fail. None of these prophecies. None shall want her made. The Bible can't be compared to any other book. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. All right? So with that, we hope that the elect were edified. You brothers and few sisters, with that, we're going to say Shabbat Shalom.